Hi guys. Hello, hello. It is late tonight. I recognize that it is late. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me even though it's late. Let me just get my camera angles right. Hey Dennis, you're the first one on YouTube to join me. You guys on Facebook are coming on. Thank you again for hanging out with me so late. I know it's late. I'm so sorry it's late, but I had a little mishap at work and had to actually go back to work after I left work. And so I'm just getting home. But yeah, we're going to talk about something I've been wanting to talk with you guys about for a long time. And that is there is one medical condition, I'd say one to two medical conditions in particular, that I have been seeing more during COVID in my office than I have ever seen in my entire life of being a physician. Okay. And it's something that is really, really important to me because there's a lot of sort of myths and facts about this. So we're going to jump right in today. I'm not going to do a lot of jibber jabber. I'm just going to jump right in and we're going to see if you can guess the condition that I'm talking about. So this is not all inclusive, okay? But some of the symptoms of this medical condition, I say this, I'm going to say it's like two kind of lumped into one, okay? One of the symptoms can be extreme fatigue. Sleep. Okay, and this is a game, by the way. So not a game, but I mean, like, I want you guys to think about the symptoms and see if you can come up with what condition I am talking about. If I was not clear about that, I'm going to give you the symptoms that one may have that I'm often seeing and see if you come up with this. Okay. First thing is fatigue. Okay. Some people with these conditions I see are extremely fatigued. They feel like just sleeping all the time. But I would also say there's a number of people that suffer from the same conditions that feel like they are not able to sleep much at all. They're struggling with staying asleep through the entire night. Another symptom that sometimes people with these conditions may have is concentration, a lack of concentration, like literally feeling distracted, not able to complete tasks, whether it be at work, whether it's at home, whether it's keeping track of washing the dishes, helping your child with their schoolwork, getting the tasks done at work. Like everything is a little bit different than what it used to be. The idea of holding concentration is really, really tough. Okay. Another symptom that many people have, and I see a lot of good suggestions. I see sleep apnea. I see depression. I see anemia. This is good. You guys have a lot of good suggestions here. I'm also seeing with a lot of people a change in energy levels, feeling sluggish, no energy. Okay, feeling sluggish, just not kind of there. Although I have to admit that some people feel like revved up, like. And another symptom that I'm going to give you, hold on, I got to get my laptop. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. See, I jumped on so quick because I was so late. I didn't have time to get everything ready. The other symptom I'm going to give you is change in weight. This is something that a lot of people may have with these conditions. Okay. Could it be thyroid related? I love that suggestion. You guys are smart. Rochelle, you said sarcoidosis. Ooh, y'all is smart. Are y'all in med school? Well, maybe you should be. Vitamin D deficiency. Oh, y'all need to be in med school. Shoot, pregnancy. Yes, Jackie, you said pregnancy. Bipolar disorder. Oh, I love it. You guys, so what you're actually creating is what we call a differential diagnosis. By the way, I'm always teaching my medical students this. This is actually one of the things I teach in my course for third-year medical students. So if any of my medical students are on right now watching, read the comments because my folks have got the differential diagnosis down. Differential diagnosis is the question that we ask of, what could this be? So you guys are saying fibromyalgia. Oh, that's an excellent one. Fibromyalgia, you said anemia, you have said depression, you have said sarcoidosis, you've said thyroid, like hypothyroidism, vitamin D deficiency, pregnancy, major depressive disorder. You guys are awesome. All right, well, you know what? Since you're doing so well, this is great because I actually thought, I actually wasn't sure if you guys were going to pick this up. but you're really getting really great differentials. So let's keep this going for a little while. I actually want to hear more of your suggestions. And I'm going to go to my page now because you guys are actually doing a lot better than I think a lot of people would. So then let me give you some more symptoms because I think you have a really excellent differential diagnosis. You guys are really doing excellent. I'm going to give you some more. Decreased interest, just not interested in what you used to like to do. Okay. Perhaps some guilt. Okay. Self-blame, self-loathing feelings, guilt. Oh, I should have. Oh, I wish I could have. I should be this. I should be that. I should have done this. I'm not the greatest mom. I'm not the greatest wife. I'm not the greatest husband or father. And other symptoms is what we call psychomotor retardation or acceleration. This idea that you kind of feel like you're going through molasses throughout the day. You're just kind of like going through slow motion. Okay. Now you guys are leaning towards mental health stuff. I see depression, major depressive disorder. By the way, diabetes was one of the symptoms for the others, which actually it could have been. I think that's a fair differential. Certainly, if your blood sugars are up high enough, you could have a lack of concentration. You could feel tired, decreased energy, a change in weight. Gosh, you guys are really good. Oh, I love it. But now I'm hearing things like grief, anxiety, COVID brain, which is actually not a bad one. What I'm talking about is mental health stuff. Okay, that's what I am talking about. And specifically, the symptoms that I gave you, a lot of them were for depression. Now, depression and anxiety are not the same thing, but I call them cousins because they are like two buddies. They are like peas in a pod. They hang out together. And so while I have a number of patients with depression, and by the way, when I say I've diagnosed more depression than I ever have in my entire career, I kid you not. I have seen more depression than I ever have. I've also seen more anxiety than I ever have. Now, they're not the same. Okay. Let me give you some more specific symptoms of anxiety. First of all, with anxiety, you can feel tired or not like you're not getting enough sleep. You can feel like you have a lack of concentration. You can feel like your energy levels are off the chains. You can also have a change in weight with anxiety. But with anxiety, we often get increased nervousness. You can't stop worrying, trouble relaxing. Your mind goes from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. If it's not one thing, you're worried about this. If it's not this, you're worried about that. And it's almost like you're never in the moment. You feel restless. You feel fearful, right? You're simply afraid. And sometimes as well, we can simply get irritable, get annoyed, be snappy at our family, at our kids, at our coworkers, at our bosses, you name it, at ourselves. Okay. Guys, I'm talking about mental health. I'm just taking a look at all your comments. Your comments are really amazing. And by the way, thank you guys so much for all the stars on Facebook. I just jumped right in today. I know I did. I wanted to talk about this on YouTube. Thank you for the super chats and super stickers. Guys, I have diagnosed more depression and anxiety than I ever have in my entire career during COVID. And I wanted to talk about this because if you are feeling any of these symptoms and you feel like in addition to the symptoms, your ability to live out your daily life is impacted, that you're not able to be yourself, function like yourself, do what you need to do, accomplish what you need to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I really, really, really want you to reach out. One of the reasons why I'm doing this segment is I had literally conversations with people tonight in the office about this. I have conversations every day about this with patients. The biggest barriers I see to my patients, what they tell me, the reason why they haven't sought out help either sooner. And by the way, this pandemic is literally making people feel out of control. It's making people feel anxious and depressed. I have patients that are fearful of leaving the house for fear of getting COVID. This might be you. And if it is, it's okay. And I can promise you, you're not alone. I have patients that feel so unmotivated because they're so depressed. They haven't been able to see loved ones. They have not been able to reach out and touch people. They feel hopeless. They feel helpless. By the way, those are also feelings that can go along with depression. Call it anhedonia, this feeling of hopelessness and helplessness. I have patients that are unmotivated to shower. They don't feel like doing anything during the day. And along with that, by the way, there's other things that come along with that. Many of my patients honestly have gained weight during this pandemic, and we're trying to cope in so many different ways. I'm talking about this, and actually, Lisa on YouTube, you're saying increased heart rate and anxiety. Absolutely. Some of my patients are having palpitations. They're having feelings of shortness of breath and palpitations and almost panic attacks where they get sweaty at certain moments when they think about certain things. I know I'm throwing a lot at you, and anybody who's a mental health professional will say, "Oh, there goes Dr. Jen. She's mixing all the symptoms all together. These are actually really different diagnoses," and they would be right. I'm lumping anxiety and depression together, and let me be very clear: they are very different things. But sometimes the symptoms for each can overlap, and often they come together. So maybe you're depression predominant, but you have some symptoms of anxiety, or vice versa. Emmett Jones, thank you so much for the super chat. You're so sweet. You saw me on Mike and Sharon Reed's new morning show on Black News Channel this morning. Thank you very much. I so appreciate you. I will post that segment in the next day or so. It was a lot of fun. It's a brand new show on Black News Channel that I was on this morning before going to work. It was at 6:30 in the morning today. But let me tell you something I really want you guys to know, okay? Now, I'm not here pushing meds because some people say, that's Dr. Jen. She don't say you can do anything natural. Everything is meds, 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 vaccine, vaccine. And that's not the truth. Well, okay, I do mostly talk about those things, but I believe in natural things. Look, there are many, many different ways to treat anxiety and depression. If any of these symptoms feel like you, and by the way, there's different levels of anxiety and depression, right? And there's other conditions, bipolar and all sorts of stuff. So just throwing a few things out there to get your mind roaming and thinking. But if you're feeling like these symptoms are you and you're really struggling, and there's not a single day that I don't have one or two patients in my office that are crying. If you feel like this is you, first of all, you need to know you are not alone. Number two, I want you to seriously think about talking to your doctor. And I'm not saying you need to have anything. I'm not even saying you have a diagnosis of anxiety or depression. But what I am saying, however, is that there's a lot of things that we can do to help you through this crazy apocalyptic time that we are in called COVID. You're not able to see your family. You're not able to basically leave the house without basically a mask on your face. You can't go out to eat and do all the things you like. You can't travel. You can't, all this kind of stuff. So what can we do, you say? Okay, well, first of all, there's talk therapy. Talk therapy is the bomb.com. Let me tell you, folks. And I'm talking about talking to a licensed clinical social worker or a therapist or somebody who's licensed to talk to you. Okay. There's also many, many great apps. In fact, I did a video of let's see here, I think it was called 5 apps to help deal with anxiety and depression. Maybe I'll try to post that in the description. I list some really, really great apps that you can use. Headspace app is great. The Calm app is great. I'm trying to think of other ones that we recommend in the office. But there are a lot of really amazing apps to help you find center and peace. There are also a number of apps that you can use to find a therapist that provide therapists. But talk to your doctor, because remember, for many insurance companies, therapy is covered in insurance. This is important. And a lot of people are afraid to go see someone in person because of COVID. Well, guess what, guys? Therapists are doing telemedicine, y'all. They can talk to you just like this, and it works pretty darn well. So therapy is an amazing resource. And if you've never thought about it, you never thought that this might be you, remember, all that matters is that you live a happy, healthy, productive life. That's the only thing that matters. Now, let me tell you something about medications, because, by the way, the biggest thing that people tell me when I mention medications, they say, oh my God, I don't want medications. I want to do it on my own. Okay, that's totally fine. But when I ask people why, sometimes what they say is, well, I don't want to get addicted to anything. Or they say, I just don't want to be on anything. Or actually, the biggest thing people say to me is, I don't want to be addicted to anything, they say. And this is what I'll say about many of the medications for depression and anxiety. And I put them in a category because there are a number of classes of medications that actually treat both. Many, I would say probably the vast majority of them, are not habit forming, are not potentially addictive, which is very important. Many of them are weight neutral, which means you're not likely to gain weight on them. Many of them are not going to make you, this is the other thing people say. They say, I just don't want to feel like, the 7 Cups app. Sharon Jones on YouTube. Thank you for mentioning the 7 Cups app. That's an excellent app, by the way, for mental health. 7 Cups. That was actually one of the apps that I recommend in my video. People also say, I don't want to feel fuzzy in the head. I need to work. I need to drive. I need to be present for my kids. Well, many of the medications don't make you feel loopy and dopey and are not habit forming and don't make it so you can't drive or work. Medications I prescribe are ones that don't have a addiction potential, and they're not habit forming. They don't have a sort of a habit forming potential, and don't make you feel loopy and dopey. And they don't have a street value, and they don't change your personality. There's many different types of medications, but the ones that me as a family doctor that I'm prescribing, that's a big portion of the medications. So I don't want you to think that medications, number one, will change who you are or make things worse for you necessarily. Okay. And I also don't want you to be afraid to reach out for help. Honestly, anxiety and depression is the biggest thing I am seeing in my office. And the symptoms that we mentioned in the beginning are the symptoms that so many people have. And if you've thought about reaching out to your doctor and reaching out for help, I just encourage you to do so. Just talk to them. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to take anything. You don't have to talk to anybody, but talk to your doctor. Start there. And just know really that you're not alone, and you're not in this alone. Just want to take a quick break from that because it's been super important to me. I mean, I haven't really talked to any patient. By the way, the other thing that I've seen a lot in my patients, by the way, is weight gain. I don't know that I've seen many patients who have not gained weight during this COVID pandemic. So if you feel like, I'm just taking a look at comments, if you feel like you gained weight, you're not alone because a lot of people have gained weight as well. Sherry, you said this made you cry. I'm so sorry, honey. I hope it doesn't make you cry. I just hope that. Oh, Michelle Giddings White, you're a mental health professional here. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you like the discussion. Actually, I'm so happy. Ada Jimenez, you've been in therapy for about 6 years. This is wonderful. Nancy, you said you have no insurance, you can't reach out. So Nancy, you said this is so you don't have insurance, you can't reach out. So check out some of those apps. Calm app, 7 Cups app, Headspace app. I got to get that video with the rest of my apps. That's at least 3. If any of you guys can think of others, and I should have had that ready to go. I'm so helpful. I'm so glad that this is good for you guys. I have to be honest with you. It's not that I was worried about doing this segment with you guys. I just was wondering if you would even be interested in talking about it. With COVID being so much in the forefront of our minds, we're all talking about the vaccine, rightfully so. We're talking about the variants. We're talking about all of this stuff. And I didn't know if you would feel like this was old news or if this was like, yeah. But what I'm reading as I listen to your comments is that this is a lot of you. Michelle Giddings White, you've listed the suicide hotline as well. If any of you feel any suicidal thoughts, you need to reach out. Michelle, thank you for this. 1-800-273-8255. This is wonderful that you listed this. Guys, this is what I would do is if you are feeling any sort of way about your feelings, do me a favor and read the comments right now. I want you to read what some of your colleagues are saying. This is our family, right? I think of you guys as family. This page, this is our family, right? So we're all part of the family. Read some of what your family members, your colleagues are writing, because there's a lot of people who might feel like you. Every day, I'm talking to teachers who are dealing with going back to school and they're scared. I'm dealing with parents who are homeschooling, not homeschooling, but they're dealing with hybrid models. They're trying to work and they're also trying to help their child learn from distance, and it's not going so well. And they're also trying to put dinner on the table, and they're trying to be a wife or a father or a husband and this and that. I have other people who are single, who don't have anyone in their household or their home, and they feel isolated, feel like they have no one and they can't reach out to anyone. It's interesting how everyone has a different situation here, but they're all equally as valid. I saw a woman not too long ago who felt like, the pandemic had made her just feel so sad that it made her so unmotivated that she wasn't motivated to try to get healthy. She wasn't motivated to exercise, to leave the house. It was almost like this pit of despair that she fell into because of it. And on the other hand, I've had patients that have panic attacks so bad when they leave the house, they can't even go to the grocery store because they're so afraid of COVID, which is real. And granted, not everybody is at these extremes, but many of us are on some sort of gradient of this. So please understand, and I'll say this and we'll keep this. Oh, and Dennis, thank you for your suggestion. Dennis on YouTube, you said try yoga and meditation as well. Oh my gosh, thank you, Dennis. And I guess this is what is really important to talk about, is sort of these other options. We've got therapy, right? We've got our apps, Headspace, the Calm app, 7 Cups, etc. We've got medications, but we also have sort of our holistic approaches and sort of the things we have in our toolkit. What helps you clear your mind? And Dennis, thank you so much for bringing this up. Yoga. Tai Chi, you can do yoga, find an app on your phone. Literally, I have a yoga mat in my bedroom that's like on the floor in my bedroom because I have no space in my living room. Okay. But that's where it is. And I don't do a lot of yoga, but I try to do a little something. Meditation, even just if it's 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, I end up like thinking about like what I have to do the next day, but I keep trying. And that's all you have to keep doing. Get outside and go for a walk. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you follow me on if you follow my like on Facebook or Instagram and you see my stories at least once a week, what do you see? You see a picture of me walking down the street, bopping down the street with my mask, being like, "Hi guys," because I have to get outside and get some air. Because you know what happens to me? I sit here in my little apartment making videos for you guys, seeing patients, doing TV and whatever, and sometimes I literally feel like I'm going to jump out of my skin because I haven't been able to see my nieces and my family. I haven't hugged my mom in over a year. Mm. Ah, and it sometimes gets tough. So one thing I do is I get outside and I smell the fresh air and I take a deep breath. For some of us, it's prayer. Okay. Prayer is, and see, actually, Sharon, you said mood tools and fear tools. Yes, that's excellent too. Mood, yes, you guys are on it. Mood tools and fear tools. A nature walk, a meditation, prayer can be excellent. One of the things I've actually really loved is I love going to church in my bed. Yes, hunties. Online church is the bomb. I actually really like it. But it actually really helps me. You know, when I listen to my church service, I listen to it at the end of the day, and it's usually not on Sundays. When I wake up, my mind starts running, and I'm just not, I can't stop it. But towards the end of the day, I need to wind down, and listening to a church service actually really helps me. So use the tools that you have. Reach out to people who are good for you, people you can actually talk to, people who might be able to understand where you're coming from. I know this is a long session, but I had to say all this stuff. And guys, I don't want you to be afraid of medications if that's an option for you, and if that's an option that your family is recommend, or your family, your doctor is recommending. Don't be afraid. Ask the questions you want to know answers to, because remember, the questions people always ask me is, will I get addicted? Will this change my personality? Will I gain weight? Do I have to be on this forever? That's what people want to know. And for many of the medications I prescribe for anxiety and depression, the answer is no, you will not get addicted. There's no addiction potential. You will not gain weight. You don't have to be on this forever. And no, this won't change your personality. So I'm just throwing this out there to you guys. Yeah, we're family. I see a lot of you saying, yes, we are family. Hell yeah, we family. And oh, I love this. Frida Doxy, you said support groups for caregivers. That's another great option, is support groups. Be careful of support groups, because I've had patients say some support groups make them feel worse about whatever they're going through than others. But there are a lot of amazing support groups out there. So if you're a caregiver or whatever you're going through, check out some support groups. Keep that in mind. Thank you guys for all the amazing stars you guys are sending. I so love you, and all the super chats and super stickers you guys are sending on YouTube, and also the suggestions. I actually, when I was thinking about doing this segment, I really underestimated all of the suggestions that you would give all of us. So I really I'm honored, and I'm so proud and thankful for you guys for making all of these great suggestions. Joel, Demetrius Johnson, you listen to music and you go out to take pictures of flowers as a hobby. I love that. There's a lot of great suggestions. So read what some of the other folks are saying. This can be certainly really helpful. Guys, get your COVID vaccines. Make sure you check out my group. I got the COVID vaccine. A lot of you guys have joined because you're getting the COVID vaccine, so you can share your experiences with others. These shirts I'm selling on my website because many of you guys have asked. drjencaudle.com/shop. drjencaudle.com/shop. It's also in the description. I donate a portion of the proceeds to the Red Cross. And also, this is my encouragement for us. I bought these in all sorts of colors. Y'all, I got all sorts of colors. I bought like 6 of them. I have to buy my own shirts too. They're not free. My own shirts are not free to me. I have like 8 of them. So you're going to see me in different shirts every single week. Anyway, guys, you guys are amazing. I love you. You hang in there. Okay. Don't you ever feel like you're alone. And don't you ever feel like we're not going to get out of this, or that it's not going to get better. I'm promising you this right now. It's going to get better. We're going to get out of this. We're going to get out of this together, and we're going to get out of this in one piece. And even if things feel really bad right now, you know what? It's not going to last forever. And don't worry. You'll come out of it. Okay? It will get better. So anyway, that's my little message to you guys. I love you. I'm going to now try to get to bed soon. Hold on. My battery's low. Always got a low battery. I'm going to try to get to bed because I'm in the office early. I'll be on Cheddar News tomorrow morning at 7:15 in the morning. If you guys watch Cheddar, I'll try to post a segment later. I'm sort of backlogged on posting segments. So I love you all. Hang in there and keep posting suggestions for what you guys do to help you with your mental health, because you are helping me and you're helping each other because we're family. All right. Love y'all. Bye, YouTube.